Hi. Welcome back to Moon Recaps. Today I'm going to explain a horror thriller movie of 2014, It Follows. Before going ahead, please subscribe. The story of the film is about an fatal curse, which can be transferred through sexual intercourse. A young girl Zhe unknowingly becomes the next prey of that fatal curse. Does she able to save her life or choose to die? Let's find out. The opening scene starts with a scared girl. Her name is Annie. She was running in fear of something. Her father asks her about it. She does not tell anything and runs away from home and goes to a beach. After reaching there, she calls her dad and tells that an entity is following her, and soon it will kill her. Next morning Annie is found brutally killed by someone on the beach. Story then turns to a gorgeous high school girl, Zhe. She was enjoying in her swimming pool. Her sister Kelly comes there and asks her for movie. Jay denied and tells her that she is going on a date with her boyfriend Hugh. A short time later Zhe meets with Paul and Yara inside home and tells them about her date. Paul gets a little upset hearing this, because he likes Zhe. Zhe teased her sister Kelly with her wet hairs. Jay wears her favorite dress and goes to meet Hugh. Zhe and Hugh goes to watch a movie. During movie Hugh asked to Zhe about the girl in the yellow dress sitting behind them. Jay doesn't see anything there. Then Hugh immediately takes Jay out of there in a rude manner. The two have meal together. While eating we see someone is coming straight towards them through the glass window. Later Kelly asks Jay about her date. Jay told that Hugh was feeling scared and looks afraid. While walking, Kelly introduces Jay to her friend Greg, who was washing his car. Same night Zhe meets Hugh again. Hugh seduces Zhe. The two then get into the car and both spend a romantic time. After intercourse, Hugh anesthetized Zhe and kidnapped her. When Zhe opens her eyes, she finds herself tied with a wheelchair. Hugh is there and looking scared. He asks Zhe to listen him careful. He tells Zhe that he has transferred an evil curses to her through sex. That curse or entity will always follow her until she kills Zhe. The entity is capable of taking any form, and adapt any character, and further tells if Zhe will intimate with someone before she caught by entity. The entity will leave her and follow the other to whom she was intimated with. Hugh's words turn out to be true and she sees a naked woman coming straight towards her. Hugh tells Zhe that if she wants to escape from that curse, then never go to the place less than one exit. Hugh then ties Zhe's hands and leaves her mid or the road ahead of her home. Kelly and Paul helps her. They called police and police take statement from Zhe. Zhe was deeply shocked by this accident. In next scene Jay was standing in front of the mirror in the bathroom. A ball strikes on mirror and Zhe gets scared. Next day Zhe is sitting in her class. She through the glass sees an old lady is coming towards her. Zhe panics and runs away from the class, but the lady keeps following her. Jay get in the drive car and reach home, and tells her friends about it, but her friends tells this is an illusion of her mind. Kelly and Paul decided to stay with her for that night. Zhe feels scary and comes to Paul. When Paul and Zhe were talking in night, there was a sound from the kitchen. Someone broke the kitchen window. Paul goes to find out. As Zhe walks to the kitchen, she sees a half-naked woman squirting and walking towards Zhe. Jay gets scared and lock herself in a room. Paul and Kelly are trying to understand her but Jay was deeply scared. When Kelly opens the door for Yara, entity enters the room as a giant man. Jay saves herself by jumping from the balcony and runs away with a bicycle to a park. After some time all her friends finds Jay and stay with her whole night. The next morning all her friends goes to Hugh's house and try to find out about him. Hugh was living there with a fake identity. Paul finds an old photograph of Hugh wearing in school uniform, and they find out his real name and address from that school. Hugh's real name was Jeff. When they all goes to his address his mom opens the door, and asks everyone to come inside. Jay and his friends meets Jeff. Then Jeff tells that a girl gave this curse to Jeff and to get rid of that curse. He did the same with Zhe as he had no other way left except transfer it to other. Further states that if Jay wants to survive, then she has to be intimate with someone. Jeff tells to Jay, either she transfer the curse or choose to die. Then Greg takes them out of town to a house where he used to visit with his father as a child. Night passes safely. Next day Greg teaches Zhe how to aim and shoot with a gun. Later in noon when Zhe is sitting on the beach, Entity reaches there and tries to kill Zhe. Zhe's friends could not see Entity. Paul presumes and hits on Entity with a chair. Entity push Paul away in a jiffy. Jay manages to escape in a nearby room where the gun was kept and then starts firing on the Entity. A bullet hits Entity on her neck. Entity gets slightly injured. Jay locks the room again and sits on floor. Entity then breaks the door. Greg looks through the broken door and tells them to open the door. As Jay moves to open the door, Entity enters through the broken door. Jay again manages to get in the car through the back door and leaves from there. She was very too afraid during driving and gets into an accident. When Jay opens her eyes, she finds herself in a hospital. She had suffered a head injury and a broken arm. Jay starts crying. During the night the hospital staff was busy in their work. Paul and Kelly were sleeping. Greg goes inside. Greg intercourse with Jay to save her. Next morning, Paul becomes depressed by seeing that Greg is rubbing Jay's feet. Days pass by. Greg and Jay don't feel abnormal. Jay doesn't see Entity till now, but remains always fear. Day passes. One day Greg comes to visit Jay. Paul asks Greg if he feels or see Entity. Greg says no. He didn't see her. As usual, while Jay is sitting near her bedroom's window, she sees Entity is going towards Greg's house. Greg's house is locked. Entity breaks the glass window. Jay is seeing all this and calls to Greg to warn him, but Greg does not pick up the call. Jay runs to Greg's house and see that Entity has transfigured as Greg's mom and is knocking Greg's door. As Greg unlocks, Entity attacks and kills him, and begins to satisfying her desire with his dead body. Jay saves her life and escape to a forest. That night she sleeps there. Jay opens her eyes in the morning. She goes to the beach nearby, where she sees 3 boys in the boat and starts taking off her clothes. Later we see Jay comes back home. Then Paul comes to visit Jay, and asks her to help. He wanted to take curse from Jay as he tries to seduce Jay. Jay gets up and sits near the window. Paul then sees a photograph of Jay and tells her a new plan. Paul, Jay and their friends decided to move out and leave from there. On way out, Jay sees Entity again on the roof of her house standing as a naked man. All friends goes to an indoor swimming pool out of the city. Going inside, everyone takes out the electric appliances from their bags and sets them around the pool and makes a trap for Entity. Jay goes inside the pool. Everyone is ready to kill Entity by trapping it in the pool. All sweated out there. Jay is waiting in the pool. Time spends and it becomes night. Then Jay sees Entity is coming. Jay gets scared and tell about Entity to her friends. Her friends can't see. Jay points his finger towards Entity, instead of going inside pool. Entity starts picking up electric items and throwing them at Jay. One hits Jay on Jay's head and Jay starts bleeding. Entity keep throwing items at Jay from outside. When asked by Paul, Jay points at Entity. Paul tries to shoot Entity but bullets does not hit on target. Then Kelly puts a cloth on Entity and Paul shoots him on the head. Entity falls into the pool as Jay tries to get out of the pool. Entity grabs her leg. Paul shoots at him again and one of the bullets hits the Entity's skull. Jay freed her leg. Jay comes out of the pool. Paul asks her about Entity, is he alive or dead? When Jay looks inside the pool, she sees a cloud of blood inside pool. Leaving Entity dead there, they goes to home. Jay and Paul spend a good time together and start a new life. In the last scene, Paul and Jay are seen walking down a street and a faint Entity follows them. Movie ends here. Guys, if you like this video and wants to see more video like this, please subscribe our channel and give a thumbs up. We will meet in next video. Take care.